I hope my voice isn't going to sound shaky and like this in this because it's later in the day.
Are you cold?
Yeah, it's later in the day, so the sun has left its warmth in here. And if I turn on this little space heater, then it interferes with the microphone.
Right. I mean, I try to not actually turn on my heat at all because I got an email. I don't know if you got the same email that prices are. Well, they said prices are going to be double this month. But then I saw people talking about it in a Reddit LA thread. And they said that their projected bills, because you can go on the site and it'll give you your projected total, was 10x for everybody.
10.
So, yeah, 10x on the gas bill this month.
I hope not, because I've been splurging a little bit and making sure my house doesn't get above 58 degrees when I go to sleep. I've stopped doing that.
Wait, making sure it doesn't go above 58 degrees?
Sorry, making sure it doesn't go below 58.
You're blasting that
I'm
AC.
trying to build up a tolerance. I'm going hardcore. Anything above 58, I'm trying to live in freezing temperatures, actually.
Yeah, anyway, it's supposed to be quite a ramp up. So I'm just like, I rarely run the heat anyway. I'm like, I'll just put on a sweater, but still.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. As you said last week, far from the days of dumping water on myself.
Yes, sir. But your space heater, by the way, that should just be an electrical plug. That wouldn't be running on gas.
Right.
So it wouldn't affect it for you. That'd just be your electricity bill. So you're actually in a better place there. Unless you're just taking really, really long showers.
I can't actually, because the water goes cold. I guess maybe the pipes are cold. And so I only have 20 to 25 minutes, which I don't know.
Oh, that's a long shower.
I like longer showers.
My God.
Oh, okay. I go in and it's like, okay, I don't have to be doing anything right now.
I only have 25 minutes?
Well, as opposed to like 30 or 35. I'm not in there for 4 hours or anything.
God, I don't know what the longest shower I've probably ever taken in living in this house, maybe 10 minutes?
10 minutes? Okay, so here's the thing.
That would be a long shower, like a very long shower.
You have to institute into your shower routine sitting there and just doing nothing.
Crying.
And trying to block out any thoughts and just feeling the...
I need to get work done.
That's why if you're in the shower and people are like, oh, why didn't you get anything? Oh, see, I was in the shower. And they're like, understandable. See, it's a understandable amount of time that you're not doing anything.
They're gonna be like, oh, you were in the shower last time too. How long are you showering?
I've been in the shower since last time you called, actually. So
with cold water the whole time.
Oh, yeah. But I ended my showers with cold water for a while, and then in the winter now,
I'm 25 minutes.
Okay,
go into the cold water. So anyway, eggs. Wait, did you actually make an intro?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Eggs. That is this episode's topic, and as you may have seen, they're getting a little pricey. Jordan, I don't know if you've seen. Have you?
So this is really funny. I've let you take the lead here on this excellent discussion that will be full of these puns, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got some written down. Anyway, I am in the position of I am a cretin who orders all his meals in. And I do not really shop at the grocery store except occasionally to go and buy a bit of junk food every now and again. And so therefore, I don't really check the price of eggs. That said, I did want to start this off with an anecdote, which is that one of the things that I would often order to be delivered is a breakfast burrito. And that breakfast burrito used to cost, I think it was $9. And it was an excellent breakfast burrito. Obviously, one of the main ingredients that goes into breakfast burritos is eggs. And I have noticed that over the last year, that breakfast burrito has gone from $9 to now most recently $15.
Okay.
Over a 50% increase. And I did notice there was a large price increase very, very recently. And I didn't really make the connection that it was potentially due to a specific thing with eggs. But now that this has been brought up, it makes sense that maybe it could be tied into that. Needless to say, I don't really order the breakfast burrito anymore. It's kind of sad because the price has gone up crazily. Also, the price of delivery has gone up quite a bit. And at some point, I reached my limit and I'm just like, I'll skip breakfast.
You just skip? Wait, so you just don't eat anything?
It depends. Some days I'll only have one meal per day. Other days, what I'll do is I'll order like a sandwich and I'll have half one day and I'll have half the next day. So it kind of like doubles up for one delivery, you know?
Huh. Yeah. You seem like you would have to eat more to keep, big, strong. Yeah.
I'm sedentary enough, with sitting at my PC for most of the day that it ends up working out.
Your energy expenditure is like a zebra stripe. It's going like this. Nothing.
It basically just goes nothing.
Intensity, nothing.
Basically, yeah.
That's funny. I used to make omelets each day. Maybe not every day, but every other day perhaps. And that was my one of two breakfast foods. 4-egg omelet with cheese, 2 pieces of toast with cream cheese. But now I've pretty much only on the other breakfast food, which is toast and peanut butter and raisins and banana and milk,
So you have also decided to forego having eggs.
Yes. However, I couldn't find the eggs because there's two sides of this that we'll go into later when we talk about something pretty extreme. But when we talk about that,
Eggstreme, yes, let's go.
I go to Target, right? That's where I get most of my stuff. There, the eggs are as expected. 120% increase, as we see on this beautiful graph made by.
Big Egg.
Made by Big Egg. It is a big egg. I think it's made by Metalytic.
It's made by Big Egg.
Big Egg. And so...
Well, the data source, though, is the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
Yes.
So,
and
give credit to the government where credit's due.
Yeah. Target eggs, that kind of stuff, that has risen in line with this graph. It is absolutely ridiculous. Before I even read about any of what was happening with the avian flu or the chicken feed or any of that, I'm in the stores thinking, because, when I don't want to go to the secondary location, Trader Joe's, I think I'm just at Target. I'm so tired as usual. And I'm like, let me just get these eggs and go home. But then I see for $6 for an egg carton.
Because of course Southern California is going to be 50% higher than the national average. It's $6.
Yeah, I've seen $7 in people talking about California eggs. It's absolutely absurd. These Eggstreme prices are absolutely something to be scoffed at.
And the great part is most of those eggs probably come from California.
Yeah.
And
so the shipping
we get to pay
costs,
the high price.
But it's very great. You really don't have to ship them most, but you're still paying the premium. Yeah. And so Trader Joe's, on the other hand, is being a real trader bro, if I may say so, if I may be so bold, because they are keeping at least their large white eggs, normal eggs, they have increased a little bit, but they are still only $3, $2.99 sticker price.
Are they eating a loss on the eggs?
I don't think so. What I do know is because this is the cheapest, it's staying the same rather than price gouging a little bit with all of the other competitors. There just are none. The last 3 times I've gone to Trader Joe's looking for one of these bad boys, shelves empty, not a single carton. The entire thing was just, and it wasn't even that late in the day. There was just no eggs in stock. I said, hey, what's going on? They said, yeah, you got to come in in the morning to if you
gotta wait
if
in
you want
line and
eggs.
stampede like Black Friday to get your eggs. Are you okay like flashing around something this valuable? You know?
Yeah, I actually had to get an advance of my 2 paychecks from now to buy this right here. The rest of them, I can only afford this one. And so
it's liquid gold.
it is.
Literally.
The real golden egg was every egg we made. So it's, I hope this goes down before Easter. That could be a real...
I don't know that people are going to be painting as many Easter eggs if that's still happening.
Yeah, because demand, while part of the reason eggs have gone up in price a little bit is because demand has been increasing over time. The past couple of years, is
there more egg consumption happening?
Yeah,
for such a common commodity, there has actually been like an increase in demand. Of eggs? Yes, but it may be partly it was definitely due to the holidays these past several months. They went up, although because it has fallen from its peaks of last year, but there has been a bit of an increase over time. We did have a graph here, but I don't know where that went. So consumption has risen, but the main driver of these egg spikes is the avian flu outbreak within the hen population in the United States. It is the H5N1 virus, or it's also referred to as the HPAI, the highly pathogenic avian influenza. H5N1, it's a different avian flu. You may remember the H1N1 from years back that humans were getting infected. No need to worry about that for this one. We'll read something from the CDC that makes sure, you know what, let's read it now. So I'm assuming because this release is on November 3rd, that it's become increasingly bad over the past, say, 3 months or so, thus leading to that fairly significant uptick that we see starting in September.
Yes. And on that note, this very beautiful and thoughtful egg graph that we have here for the surge in egg prices says 120% rise. Now, I've read in different articles, different percentages. Some say 60, some say 25 something. They were written at different times, of course, but I wanted to have us check ourselves past just this was a popular post on Reddit. So if you go to the consumer price index link, eggs are on there now, grade A, large per dozen. You can see very clear spike in 2022, especially towards the last few months.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, interestingly, if you click chicken, fresh, whole per pound, you'll notice that there's not nearly a price increase. Now, this is due to how egg-laying hens versus, they're called broiler chickens, are raised. Broiler chickens are chickens bred specifically to produce a lot of meat in a short amount of time. Broiler chickens are typically grown for 6 to 8 weeks. That's all they live. This is
I did not know. So they're hatched.
Yeah.
And 6 to 8 weeks later, they're like size enough to be slaughtered.
Yes. Farmers who work with these chickens say, yeah, these are like compared. I've been with egg laying hens and meat chickens, and those meat chickens are weird because them some strange ones. Like these chickens are bred to, so here, over time, we have been breeding these chickens to become bigger and bigger. This is where
it just starts to get really depressing, right?
Yeah. I mean, I tried to stray away from the Food Inc. Part of this because that's not what this particular episode is about. But the point of this is, as you can see, 1957 versus 78 versus 2005. So even almost 20 years ago still, the chickens have been bred to become bigger and bigger. They had to breed them to have stronger legs just so they wouldn't break under their own weight.
Every chicken looks reasonably normal here until you get to bottom right.
Yeah.
Chunky foot boy.
Yeah. That's a basketball, not even a football. And we gotta...
Yeah.
Yeah, because they essentially eat until they're sick. The farmers have to control their food or they'll just eat themselves to death. They've been bred. Yeah, we won't go.
Do they poop? It just seems like they just inflate and there must be just no.
Yeah, fun fact.
Nothing comes
these
out
birds,
the other
they actually
end.
don't poop. They convert it straight. They take the atoms and they break them apart straight into fuel to make themselves bigger.
Oh, they do nuclear fission. Internally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, purpose of bringing this up is that these chickens are bred to get this big in a very quick amount of time, 6 to 8 weeks. These broiler chickens are grown. And so if one gets sick or a flock gets sick, gets the avian flu, then it puts you behind, but in a month or two, you're back to where you were because they're constantly growing new. How many broiler chickens do you think there are in the United States?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Are we talking on like a per year period, or we're talking at any given time within their lifespan? How many exist at the same time?
You know what? Let's go with per year.
Per year, how many basically go out to slaughter, right?
Yes. Also, not necessarily slaughter because they do take into account sicknesses, birds that can't go to slaughter, birds that just aren't fit for it.
3 billion.
You're in the right order of magnitude. 9 billion broiler chickens.
I was thinking like 10 chickens per person.
Yeah,
or
that's what I
something
was
like
thinking.
That,
I'm thinking, like, how many people? I'm thinking, where are all these chickens going? But yes, about 9 billion broiler chickens were born in the year of 2018. So still 5 years ago.
It's crazy to think that it's just like that is the entirety of the human population just cycles.
Oh, we have a lot more
chicken.
livestock. That's not to mention cows or pigs. Different episode. But these chickens the broiler chickens are grown fast, are grown big, and there are so many more of them that compared to egg-laying hens, which only number about 400 million right now.
But those don't. That's not 400 million per year. That's kind of just like a running total, and some keep surviving, like they have a lifespan, right?
Right.
So,
egg-laying hens, as opposed to the 6 to 8 weeks of the broiler chickens, egg-laying hens don't even start laying eggs until maybe 18 weeks. So they have a lot longer lifespan, and that's also why when this avian flu impacts flocks of egg-laying chickens, it hurts so much more because it takes 18 months to get back to where they were.
18 months or 18 weeks?
18 weeks, excuse me. Thank you.
Okay.
18 weeks to get back to that egg-laying stage, and there's just so much less of them. Because at the time, 50 million hens have died or been culled by avian flu or contact with avian flu. And there's only right now 400 million total. And so it took out 11% of the population this past year. So it is...
But how does that get us to 120% increase in
that's
price?
what people are asking. And we're going to get into that sometime. Oh, you best believe it. But before we get into that, the avian flu, this really is the big story because it is doing a lot of damage. Because when one chicken has tested positive, or they find a dead chicken, then they have to cull the entire flock. It's really. I believe it's by law they have to cull the whole.
That's like an FDA requirement.
Yeah, because if they don't, it could spread much further. And so that's what's taking out a lot of the numbers, because not only are they getting sick, a large portion of these just have to be culled because one was found to be sick. And so the whole operation is gone. And when they are in such close quarters, I'm sure we've seen pictures like this where they are in the cages.
Getting more into the fun fooding stuff.
It relates because, it's this is like the chicken COVID, essentially. They're all close together and caged or non-caged, cage free, where they're.
This is free range.
I think free range is something else, but this is cage free.
I mean, free range is never. It sounds great, and I assume that it's not quite to me. They're just blissfully living in an open pasture with square miles to run around. There's some definition, and I don't know exactly what specifically it is.
It is what? That seems worse than I expected. Let me find a secondary source to back that one up.
You want a second opinion on this?
Yeah.
I am not going to be surprised by anything.
Okay.
I basically just try to remain ignorant because I know at the end of the day, I really should be vegan for a plentiful amount of reasons. But I do love the taste of animal protein.
Yeah. When are they really, scientists, come on, get on that lab grown meat. They've been making advances.
I will be all about that if they are able to.
As soon as they get that,
make it equivalent.
Yeah. If they get that equivalent at a nice price that, regular people can afford, I'll be eating as much lab grown meat as I can.
Well, at this current rate, it'll probably be cheaper than the hen grown eggs.
Yeah.
So
generally happy and healthy. See, that's the thing. I'm looking up these here and I'm getting qualitative descriptions, not quantitative.
The chickens they're happy.
They're a little happy.
But what are the difference?
They're moderately happy.
What is the difference in parameters of their environment?
Give me square footage. Cage free.
Well, you see, we just have a test, and if they come back happy, then we consider them cage free.
Yeah. See, if they rate
free range,
at least a 7 or 8 on the smiley face pain scale, then we say they're free range. See, if free to walk, nest, and engage in other natural behaviors, they can do that in a tiny little space. So I'm not going to take that as an answer. Here, how about
I would say that this second chicken photo, they would probably say this is free range.
Yeah, I think it is. But let me.
It seems like nobody actually knows what the definition is.
It's almost like they make this information a bit tough to see for yourself because. I want a government definition here. Okay, well, we are getting a little bit of information here. A bill during the 81st Nevada legislative session has prohibited farm owners and operators from selling or distributing eggs or egg products in Nevada that knowingly confines an egg-laying hen in an enclosure that has less than 1 square foot of usable floor space per hen. So 1 square foot, that's the minimum. That's the cage minimum. It's got 1 square foot to be in a cage.
And but beyond that, can they call it cage free or free range?
What is considered a cage free housing system? A cage free housing system is an enclosure for egg-laying hens which is located indoors or outdoors in which animals are unrestricted and free to roam. Allows natural behaviors, scratch areas, perches, nest boxes, and dust bathing areas. Okay, that's nice.
It looks like what we're seeing in picture 2.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking. There's a lot of nice stuff being said there, but what we're seeing in this packed picture can technically have that. And so from this other little bit of info that I saw, it seems that cage-free hens aren't in cages, but they can be packed together with no outdoor access, 1 square foot.
Okay, I'm fairly convinced at this point that the second picture is considered cage free.
Yeah,
it must be a. Do you wear a gas mask in there? Because it's got to be real smelly.
Oh, smelly. Yeah, I am sure anyone with anosmia. I think it's anosmia, inability to smell. Prime job to work an egg.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. I have that sometimes. It's not always, which is unfortunate.
Otherwise, you would do this.
Well, maybe not this, but I'd like some consistency. I'd be less confused if I could not smell 100% of the time, but the fact that it's 95 just confuses me.
That is very weird. Have you ever seen a doctor about that?
No, I almost did. I went to my primary once and said, "Hey, I'm having this." And they said, "Yeah, you should see an ear, nose, and throat." And I said, "Okay."
And you
I didn't. I will eventually, just because I'm curious. I don't care anymore. Because the once or twice a year where I do get it back, I can also taste fully, right? And then everything that I eat, I'm like, this is too much. How do people eat like this?
You don't like the food?
No, it's too much.
Too much taste?
I used to give out fruit snacks to people, just throw them out. And one day when I got my smell back for like 15 minutes, I'm like, oh, let me taste these. See what I've been giving people. And I was like, I tried eating. Turns out I don't like peanut butter.
What?
I don't.
Wait.
It had this.
So you like have your peanut butter in the morning, but only when you can't smell.
Well, I always can't really smell. It's only like the once or twice a year where I get it back, where it's like, okay, let's dial it back. I'm good. And then it goes away as magically as it came. I don't know. And it's not because of COVID. This was like,
this predates.
Yeah, this was before it was school. This was like middle school. I stopped being able to smell because in elementary I could. I do miss the smell of the ocean, but not that much to care. But
you really should see a doctor and figure out if there's something going on. But I mean, yeah, this is a different topic. But
yeah, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, so I probably won't go into chicken raising anyway, because can't gamble with that 5%, that it comes back. And so,
well, you can just have sick days then or something like that. I'm really sick. I can smell. It's a problem.
Sick hours. Yeah. But speaking of gas masks, if you scroll up to that CDC article that I sent, that I think we opened and just didn't, we got distracted and didn't do it. CDC has been monitoring for illness among people exposed to the bird flu, virus-infected birds, since these outbreaks were first detected in U.S. wild birds, late 2021. To date, they've been found in 44 states, but it's saying that it's not a risk to the general public. They do suggest, as you see in bold, for the farmers to wear personal protective equipment, the PPE, while around the chickens to prevent any virus from spreading and possibly mutating to become the new H1N1. This is the H5N1, but we don't want it to transfer this time. And so at the time, it's not going to be the next COVID or swine flu.
I do like how they say one person did contract it, and information on the person who tested positive can be found in the Associated Spotlight and press release. Like, let's put this person on blast.
Sir, how are you feeling right now? How's your tummy hurt? Sir.
We heard that you had the very close contact with chickens. Can you tell us more about that?
Sir, can you tell us about your time with the chickens, please?
How did you get close enough to contract the thing nobody else has managed to do so far? Hopefully they're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bird flu it's an issue, clearly.
But currently only for
there has to be
birds.
More, right? There has to be more than just this for it to have had the effect.
Yes.
Right?
Now, yes, there is an additional behind the scenes sort of increase that's been happening that predates the avian flu. It's been going up for a while. But we looked at the consumer price index, which people often do to find inflationary. Here, let me just paste this so you can get it. We often do not look at the elusive producer price index. And so here we see the price of chicken feed, chicken, turkey, different stuff that they're given to these chickens has been rising a lot since 2020. It had its first real bump in price back in 2007, and that's when it plateaued at what it was for a while, besides that spike from 2012 to 2016. But now, ever since 2020, mid to late 2020, chicken feed has been up 62% since then. It has spiked dramatically. And is it going to continue going up, or is it going to settle back down like it did back in 2014? Don't know yet. I was unable to find a source of why the chicken feed is going up at the moment. Maybe it's part of the whole supply chain leading into Ukraine, which is a big exporter of grain, Ugrain.
Right.
And so
the interesting part here is that September to December is actually a slight downtrend.
Right.
Whereas that's really where the chicken prices or the egg prices have gone flying up. Is this more of a
supply and demand type of
lagging?
Thing, or
no, is it just lagging in that we don't feel the effects of the price for a bit of a delay, because this obviously has to work its way kind of through the chain, and it's acquired by the people who are providing it to the farmers who are feeding it to the chickens.
Yeah.
And then it's a while until it actually makes its way into the grocery stores with the egg shipment. So I'm curious if there is enough of a delay here and how in advance farmers are ordering their supply of chicken feed, because I assume chicken feed isn't perishable, probably.
Yeah, it probably has a super long shelf life.
How long in advance they're ordering to where maybe it's, even though we've seen prices decline over the last few months, maybe that hasn't kind of come into play yet.
Yeah, although I'm wondering if it could also be a supply and demand type of thing. 11% of the egg-laying population of chickens have been cold or died off from the virus, and since October or September rather, there's been a 3% decrease in the feed price. Don't know if that's related or not, but also that is another good reason why eggs cost more than the chickens themselves, because not only are the broiler chickens bred and slaughtered faster than the eggs laying chickens take 18 months. Even though the broiler chickens...
18 weeks.
18 weeks. Thank you, Jordan, for being cognizant of me keeping that wrong. The broiler chickens eat a lot more than the hens, but for a lot less time, because the hens you have to raise to 18 weeks, and then throughout their egg-laying lifespan, which is...
And do you know how long they are laying eggs for?
I believe it's around 1.5 to 2 years, if I remember correctly. I didn't note that one down. So over time, the price of this, it's been about 2 years, actually, since the price of turkey feed, chicken feed has gone up. And so that would be paired to this eggs going up. Even before the avian flu, they've been rising. And so that could be an indicator, perhaps. But I think the thing that you were referring to when you said there's only been an 11% population decline and 120% increase in price was something to do with Cal-Maine foods.
Is that right?
Yes. Cal-Maine Foods is the big conglomerate, the big egg. That Cal-Maine Foods is big egg.
Big egg.
Yes. Oh, man. And so Cal-Maine Foods owns Farmhouse Eggs, Sunups, Sunny Meadow, and Eggland's Best, and Land O'Lakes. All those are controlled by Cal-Maine Foods. Quick edit note, they don't own Eggland's Best and Land O'Lakes. They own the egg part of those companies. They produce and market Eggland's Best and Land O'Lakes branded eggs, and they own the trademarks for Farmhouse Eggs, Sunups, Sunny Meadow, and 4Grain, which wasn't mentioned. This is from their 2021 10K filing with the SEC. Okay, they take up 20% of the retail egg market. So they are the big boys in this situation. Now
They are like Tyson, but eggs. Tyson is meat.
I was like Tyson.
Cal-Maine is eggs.
I was like
Yes,
Tyson. Is that like
Mike Tyson?
Is that like Mike Tyson when he's nice? Yeah, and so they have been the ones that have really been doing most of the alleged price gouging. Because
so we're bringing in a little price gouging potentially into this whole situation.
I believe people have asked for investigations into this. I don't know if they're going through yet or if they're just being rolled off. But Jordan, let me paint you a picture here, okay?
I have no idea what's happening right now.
I'm going to paint you a picture, okay?
Oh, you're literally painting a picture. I love it.
Thank you.
You pulled out the elementary school arts and crafts set?
Yeah, I purposefully didn't clean all of this up from last week's episode that we talked about because after the episode ended, I was saying bye to someone or a group of people on a Zoom call, and I was like, oh, let me paint a smiley face and say goodbye. And then after that, I was thinking, paint you a picture. Why didn't I say that in the podcast? I'm going to do that next episode.
Is that 128 and then an egg?
I didn't get a small enough paintbrush. Hold on. Oh, my light. Did we say they're getting more expensive at the beginning of this? I forget. There you go.
We did say excellent.
I hope this is I hope people watching are having an excellent time.
Do we think that the cageless chickens get enough exercise?
Yeah. No. Nice one, Jordan. Not so nice for the chickens, but nice one. Also, those broiler chickens barely move during their lives.
Yeah, I don't like the food.
Just figured I'd bring down the mood a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Is that clearer? That's what these were supposed to be.
128.
No, forget that. Oh, that's the wrong side.
Wait.
Forget this.
I see. So it's egg dollars.
Egg expensive. I could have said it right then.
Got it.
Organically.
I also am seeing it mirrored, by the way. But,
you are?
Yeah. Now I can see it good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't have any napkins here. I do have paper though.
Just lick your fingers. Oh, please.
Cal-Maine Foods are doing this. That was the point of this. Cal-Maine Foods, they're taking this opportunity to make eggs, as we've seen, 120% higher in price compared to the only 11% decline in the hens. Now, go to that link that says Cal-Maine Foods Inc. stock price and news.
Mm-hmm.
Scroll down to the financials.
Yeah, it looks like oil.
Yes. Year over year change in revenue, 110% increase. Operating expense, 21.2% increase. Net income, 16,829% increase. Net profit margin, 7,890% increase. Earnings per share, 25,000% increase.
That's face melting.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So their net income in 2021 was $2 million. And it went up to 132 million. Now, granted, 2020 and 2021 must have been bad years. 2018, they had 125 in net income, but their revenue is still looking pretty big.
Yeah.
The part that's fascinating to me, and it's more of a like widespread thing outside of just the egg thing, because it brings in like oil and gas and all that, is it's interesting because like it shouldn't work that, and it hasn't historically. Companies can't just be like, we want to make more money, so let's just charge way more, because it doesn't work. You can't just do that. Consumers generally, they'll cut back or they'll go somewhere else. It's what is it about this past year or two that has seemingly allowed that to actually happen, a previous phenomena that wouldn't really work, that seems to now actually work?
Well, people who may normally get eggs for a cheaper price will get them from different suppliers, and all the suppliers keep it at about the same price, and you're fine. Now, because these 11% of dying hens, they're not all from one place. They're not all from Cal-Maine Foods. They're from 47 states across the nation. This is over double the states than the 2015 avian flu breakout. More cases as well. But in the case of Cal-Maine Foods, this is in the report. Sherman Miller, Chief Executive Officer of Cal-Maine's Food, commented, "We are proud to report another strong quarterly financial and operating performance for Cal-Maine Foods, with record sales and net income for the second quarter of fiscal 2023. These results reflect the current market environment characterized by record average selling prices for conventional eggs, primarily due to reduced supply related to the outbreak of the U.S. HPAI and good customer demand. There have been no positive tests for HPAI at any of Cal-Maine Foods' owned or contracted production facilities as of December 28th, 2022.
How? Wait, how?
I don't know. Not only have they supposedly, on record, not had any, I don't know if they're just not reporting them or if they have actually not had any, but because they control 20% of the market and 11% of these hens are from various
everybody else,
much
apparently.
Everybody else, much smaller distributors and producers of these eggs. Cal-Maine Foods has had the liberty to just say, all right, let's 120% this stuff right now. And here's the argument. You could argue that this is supply and demand. I've seen people argue this is just simple supply and demand, because the 11% is down from the other companies. Cal-Maine has to ship it to different places, and its eggs are not available from other sources. Cal-Maine has to increase their prices a lot so that people won't sell out grocery stores of eggs. So people step back saying, okay, this is too much for me. I can't buy this. So only, I suppose, wealthier people are buying eggs, which is interesting. Eggs are a luxury. Whereas on the other side, you have producers like Trader Joe's and their farms. They're not increasing the eggs in this way. They still have it at the $2.99. I got a dozen of these for $2.99 yesterday at Trader Joe's. But
did you stampede it open?
I did not stampede it open. I was near open, but the thing is, every other time that I've been at Trader Joe's for the past few weeks, no eggs, none. So they're always sold out. There's not even the price signs anymore. They just take them down. And so it's this decision to either keep the prices as they'll be and sell out, or skyrocket the prices and don't sell out. Now, they're probably going to skyrocket the prices just to the point where they're almost selling out. So they're still selling the same amount of eggs, but now lower income people or families have been priced out of getting eggs for breakfast now. That's all that's being done by increasing the price like this, alongside getting them, 25,000% earnings per share increase and all that. And so that's really kind of an opinion thing, or a decision that we have to make. Do we want it to be first come, first serve, or do we want it to do this supply and demand thing, which...
Well, I mean, it would take government intervention and regulation
Right.
in order to have the price of eggs not be allowed to go over a certain amount. And we know the speed at which government moves. It's
Yeah.
very unlikely that anything
Yeah.
like that is going to happen. It just seems like, I guess, when you get enough pricing power focused between a small enough group or amount of groups, then it allows for that sort of exorbitant pricing to take place. But they are still selling out, which is the strange thing, is that people haven't culled their own purchasing of these eggs, seeing the higher prices. It's just, and that honestly, it's so strange, because that seems to be just what is happening when it comes to essentials over the past years, that no matter what the price goes to, people are like, I gotta do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happened with cars, it's happened with gasoline, it's happened with eggs now. So you have to imagine that people at the heads of big industries like this are trying to figure out if
they can
this
sustain it.
Yeah. Well, also, like, are there any other industries where this sort of thing hasn't happened yet, where they could take advantage, where they could actually start to price gouge, but still retain the demand because it is an essential. So I'm very curious if there will be other instances of this taking place with other essential products.
Yeah, let's hope not. Although I can 100% see things heading that way, because if an opportunity presents itself to corporations,
Because generally, you would expect that, okay, if this company is going to be crazy and try to charge double for eggs, well, 50 other companies are going to come flooding in underneath, and they're going to be like, okay, well, we'll offer our eggs cheaper and still be able to turn a profit, so we'll get the customers and you guys won't sell anything. But
now there's a problem with the egg supply chain, and so they have that opportunity to, there's fewer people to undercut them because they own, that's another thing, because they own so much of the market, being a single entity, they can do this as well. If they were smaller, no chance they can do this.
it's just interesting because it seems like you get these catalysts, but then it leads to this opportunity.
Yeah, this lingering,
where a company identifies that it can use it as a way to start increasing prices. And if it were that, like, the cost of raising the hens was simply increasing, you would see that reflected in the fact that their earnings would still not be, they would be the same. There wouldn't be these crazy blowout earnings if the input costs were rising at the same pace that the egg or whatever other product costs were also rising.
On that note, another editor's note, last one, not a correction, just thought it was important. Cal-Maine has been sued before by the Texas Attorney General back in 2020 for raising egg prices 300%, even though the pandemic had not disrupted its supply chain. The lawsuit was dismissed, but it has been reinstated this past August. It is currently ongoing. This is not necessarily to say that they're doing the same thing now, but they do have a record, something to note. Anyway, that's it. Bye-bye.
So it's it's basically taking an amplified input cost or lack of supply, and then it's just amplifying it even further. It's like every step down the road, it's like, okay, well, the input cost is raised 10%. The next step down the road, oh, we're going to raise this 20%. The next step down the road, oh, 40% now. And it just keeps going up and up and up and up.
And the price kind of boils over. And if not, people are scrambling to get even more eggs.
Or broilers over.
I was thinking of boiled egg, but I like yours better because it relates to what we said. Luckily, there is some maybe positivity coming through. Egg futures have fallen 26% in previous weeks. The price is not caught up to that yet, but maybe we'll see a bit of relief in the egg markets soon enough. I'm going to risk here. Yep.
It definitely doesn't seem sustainable, and you would think that there's going to come a point where other smaller producers are finally going to be able to catch up and say, yeah, we'll offer our eggs for cheaper, and it is going to force other entities like Cal-Maine to have to start lowering their prices. Otherwise, no one's going to buy the eggs that they're supplying to the stores. But yeah, it's like eggs are obviously an input for such a huge amount of we're not just talking about like home cooking or restaurants. It's like eggs are also a massive input in the production of a million other packaged goods that are also sold in grocery stores. So it's going to have that knock-on effect of jacking up prices for tons and tons of other things that are also produced by big business that incorporate eggs.
Yeah. And then just like the egg producers, smaller businesses that use eggs are also having trouble keeping stable footing. I saw a bunch of reports of small town bakeries who couldn't operate in recent months because they just couldn't afford all the eggs to go into all their breads unless they did the same amount of price gouging, which people couldn't keep up with in their local area. And so there's also this cascading effect where, oh, that's more expensive. Oh, so that's more expensive. And then you're going to have more. And then hopefully it goes down soon because they're attempting to control the avian flu. Futures have fallen. And maybe because we didn't see $50 toilet paper back in the COVID, did we?
I don't know. I'd say $50. Well, I mean, $50 packages of toilet paper do exist on Amazon if you're getting a big enough amount of toilet paper, and there also definitely were people who were attempting to resell on Amazon for ridiculous prices. So we did see that.
People,
it just
but
didn't
not
last.
Big. Not Charmin.
Well, I think there were some actual like regulations put into place, anti-price gouging regulations or something like that, where you weren't actually allowed to do that sort of thing.
There were, I think, some entity got hit with a fine for charging $20 or $50 for hand sanitizer. So,
but I think it was a much more dramatic increase in the price than just 120%. Like if
that's true.
Someone, instead of $2 for hand sanitizer, they're trying to charge $4 for hand sanitizer. I don't think they're going to get a knock on their door.
Right.
It was more $2 to, like you said, $40 or something like that. Then all of a sudden you run into, okay, this isn't going to fly. But I think it takes eggs would have to be reaching like $40 for a dozen probably before it's actually going to get clamped down on for some kind of price gouging policy. But it's the thing is what seems to be the thing that happens is it will come down from where it's at.
Yeah.
But it will not return to the point that it was at prior. It's like get people like exhausted at this insane
That's
new
what
level.
yeah.
And then relax it, but still
bit.
it goes down to a much higher level than it was at before.
Never goes back to where it was, yeah.
Right. And so, I think more and more people are coming to realize it, but just the inflation that we are seeing, even if the rate of inflation decreases, the actual prices of things, I do not think will return anywhere near levels prior to COVID. We're going to be at a permanently elevated spot. It is the new normal in terms of pricing for things. It's just that the goal at this point, all we can hope for is that the rate of increase doesn't continue at the pace that it has been. But when it comes to things like cars, for example, while yes, some of the car prices are out of control and we're seeing things having a little bit more of a return, what I think we're just going to see in the future is instead of the dealers gouging with all their ADM, MSRPs are simply going to rise and be higher than they were at before. So cars are simply going to be more expensive, even if dealers aren't able to get their over MSRP any longer. So I think it's just, this is the way of the world at this point, unfortunately. And it's just, $1 is not going to go quite as far any longer.
Yay.
And on that inspiring note, we have we're approaching time.
Well, yeah. Also, I was like earlier because I pushed down on the bottom of this and I thought, oh yeah, eggs are strong on the edges. I broke it a little. I broke it a little bit, and this camera's bad. You can't see it, but
it's like $50 down the drain.
Oh,
right there.
I just lost my life savings. Well, I guess I'm gonna go make a very small omelet.
Good. I was wondering if there was a used egg market, but if you want to
a used egg market,
that's good too. Yeah.
Yeah. We could transition. You guys want to make an omelet for the end of this episode? We could remember that conversation I had with you 13 months ago at the sushi place? We were like talking about omelets.
Oh God. Vaguely.
Well,
was it 13 months ago? Jeez.
Yeah. Once egg prices come down, take note. You guys, you're going to want to know this. You got an egg. You want to make a great French omelet. Oh man, you gotta keep it moving. There's this, you load up with butter. You cook it just to barely. We're at time. I can't explain this properly.
The next channel expansion is going to be cooking.
Yes. We'll have a whole series.
And it'll just be Alex because I don't do that.
No, then it has to be you. Because what are cooking tutorials but the people in the videos, such as Chef Jacques Pepin, the French guy who made the tutorial that I watched with the eggs so many years back. When I first got into college and I thought, I want to make that egg dish, an omelet. And I thought, yeah. And so I started my journey. And so the point is, you got to be there too. How about this? I'll make an omelet with you and you will make the omelet at the end. Bada bing.
We'll figure this out.
Yes.
We'll figure this out. Anyway, what an excellent episode.
Yeah.
I'm reusing it.
Hope you enjoy it.
But I did it.
Hope the investigation was good and information filled. And you got exactly what you were expecting. We're no experts, but we did some research and have a sunny
side up day.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, that's not good.
I was I'll complete it for you.
Okay. Oh, if you can't paint eggs for Easter, good night.
Don't let that get into your omelet. See you later.
See ya.